Let's get more on this now with Brad Parks in Williamsburg, Virginia. He's the Executive Director of AidData. Welcome to the program, Brad. Thank you so much for joining us. On the face of it, China's Belt and Road Initiative would actually stand to benefit countries that have poor infrastructure in place. But as your report suggests, the price that they pay for that is a heavy debt burden. Can you tell us which countries are most indebted to China right now in terms of this initiative?
There are 5 countries with exceptionally high levels of debt exposure to China. 4 are in Africa, and 1 is in Asia. And those 5 are Laos, Djibouti, Congo-Brazzaville, Equatorial Guinea, and Angola. And all of these countries owe 50% or more of their gross domestic product to state lenders in China. However, there are another 37 countries with levels of public debt exposure to China in excess of 10% of GDP. So the Belt and Road Initiative has really created a far-reaching set of debt sustainability challenges for poor countries. And most of these public debts are hidden because they don't appear on government balance sheets in developing countries. So if you're in a finance ministry in a developing country, the challenge of managing hidden Chinese debt is less about knowing that you will need to service undisclosed debts with known monetary values to China. It's more about not knowing the monetary value of debts to China that you may or may not have to service in the future.
Yes, and the term that's been used for this is so-called debt trap diplomacy, in which basically these countries are loaded up with debt to Beijing and then eventually seizing control of the host country's assets if they can't afford to make their repayments. Is that what's going on here, that China is in fact engaging in debt trap diplomacy?
To be clear, countries do need to be careful about accumulating unsustainable amounts of debt to China. But the idea that Chinese state lenders want physical, illiquid assets like a port or an electricity grid as a source of collateral that they can seize in the event of default, that is a myth. Chinese lenders are savvier than that. They collateralize their loans on fully liquid assets, or what my colleagues and I like to call grab-and-go assets that you can put in your backpack and walk out the front door with. So typically what this would look like is requiring your borrower, Chinese banks requiring their borrower to maintain a minimum cash balance in an offshore bank account that is controlled by the lender, so that if the borrower can't repay its debts, they simply debit the account that they control. They don't have to don the doorstep of a court. They don't have to go through a judicial proceeding, and that gives them extraordinary leverage over their borrowers.
Okay, Brad Parks, Executive Director of AidData. We'll have to leave it there, but thank you so much again for joining us on the program.